Hi everyone and welcome to the Sporting Life and Timeform Saturday Racing Preview Show. We are looking ahead to Grade 1 action at Ascot this weekend in the Betfair Ascot Chase and a nice looking Grand National trial at Haydock as well. And I've got one from Timeform and one from Sporting Life. Richard Mann from Sporting Life, Kieran Clark from Timeform, welcome along. How you doing? Are you looking forward to the weekend, Kieran?
Yeah, very well, Scoop. Good day's racing, isn't it? Ascot Chase, National Trial, Kingwell Hurdle as well.
Yeah.
Plenty to go at. Yes, we've had some small fields because of the ground, but we've still got plenty to get stuck into, and no better place to start than the Grade 1.
And that is where we're going to start, the Betfair Ascot Chase at 3:35. The return of Shishkin, looking forward to seeing him, and Fakir Duderie is in there as well, along with Pete Dory for Paul Nicholls. So there's three big guns, there's some outsiders. We're going to take a look at them all. If we get the Timeform ratings graphic on screen, we can see that Shishkin, at his best, tops the ratings in this race. But the question is, Rich, is he going to be at his best? Because on the last couple of runs that we've seen him, he's not run to that 181 plus figure.
Yeah, I think first thing to say, it's just great to see him back, and I think as a neutral, we all want to see him run well, hopefully win and reignite what's been a really good career. I think from a punter you have to have reservations. Look, he's got a rating of 181 plus from Timeform. I'm not sure I agree with that, to be honest.
Well, that's on his best form.
Yeah, but I think there's enough evidence to suggest now that he wasn't the horse he was. Look, he's going up in trip, not because he's dominated the 2 mile division, because they don't think he's good enough now to win at that distance at Grade 1 level. I just think he's a regressive horse. I thought in the Clarence House he won a brilliant race against Energamine. That broke his heart, and coming back here, I think he's got questions to answer. Not only has he regressed, but I think, look, he broke his heart that day, and I just wonder if coming back to Ascot when he gets in that straight, if he gets in a real fight, I just wonder if he'll have some bad memories from Ascot. He's not for me at the prices.
Do you agree, Kieran? Because Richie's saying he's regressed, but we've only got 2 pieces of evidence. We've got a Champion Chase and we've got a Tingle Creek. Now, he's had a rare bone condition, he's had a flip pallet, he's had a horse kick him at the start at Sandown. You know, is there enough excuses there to forgive him?
There is excuses there. Whether you can forgive him, he travelled last time like a horse that was a bigger issue than his breathing, I thought. He just never really went to yard at Sandown, and you mentioned that tussle he had with Energamine. It's like that race Altior had against Surname. He was never the same horse after that. Yeah, I know this is a bit different, but I'd take him on. I mean, I loved him. He was one of my favourite horses going into last season, what he did as hurdler as well, but I just think the way he's ran on his reappearance, yes, the step up in trip, it might just be he's getting slower as he's getting older. You know, you'll know more about that than me, Scoop, but I'd be willing to take him on. He just never travelled last time, and if it was a kick at the start, it was his wind, the fate of tongue strap to him tomorrow as well. So there is excuses, but I'd be willing to take him on.
Yeah.
This is a horse that won a Sky Bet Supreme, a Sporting Life Arkle, travelled through those races beautifully, proper class 2 miler, and then in the Tingle Creek last time, as Kieran said, he was just never going, obviously never going at Cheltenham. We can throw these excuses about all we want, but that's 2 really poor runs now, and suddenly they've gone up in trip when he was odds on for a Champion Chase last year. Okay,
hopefully Shishkin does bounce back to his best, but if he doesn't, it could be Fakir Duderie we're crowning on Saturday, because here we have a solid Grade 1 horse. He's won 4 Grade 1s. You see him here in the white cap, the JP McManus colours. And this run at Thurles, Kieran, is good form. You've got French Dynamite there on the far side. He was giving him £6. This is a good effort, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You see Horton Clare here in front, who probably would have gone on to win, but he's no mug. It could be, because he runs tomorrow as well. We could be talking about the Ryanair favourite there. You see him falling, and Fakir does make amends for that. But you look at his record over here. He won this race last year. He won the Mellin Chase as well. Now, Connections were saying during the week a drop of rain wouldn't have gone amiss, but he won on good ground. We called it a Timeform good ground when he won at Aintree. And it's just a case of, personally, I think these 2.5 milers trained over here are just not as good as the ones in Ireland, really. And, you know, Rich will touch on Pete Dory in a minute. He's been mopping up in, you know, Mickey Mouse events is a bit harsh, but they haven't been strong events, really. And you know, Fakir bumped into Gallopin de Champ in the John Durkin 2 starts ago. To get within 15 lengths of him is probably not a bad effort, really, is it? And he's just a solid one. He ran right up to his best last time, even though he was left in front at the last. And he's going to get a no-nonsense ride. He'll just sit in behind eye right. He'll probably try and go from the front. And I'm struggling to find holes in him. Yes, on his best, he probably has a few pounds to find with Shishkin, but like we've touched on it could be a case of he might just need to run to that same level as last time.
It's far from a two-horse race, Rich, and we've got Pete Dory in there for Paul Nicholls. Paul had a terrible weekend, a rare blank Saturday for him at Newbury last weekend, but he's got a strong team coming into this Saturday, including this horse, Pete Dory, who is revitalised really and has been in really good form.
Yeah, I mean, this was a career best, wasn't it? Terrific performance. I thought he jumped really well this day, and he'll need to do that against Fakadoudaree, because I think that horse's strength in his jumping. But this, to me, is a typical Paul Nicholls chase. He just keeps getting better and better. He's 6 from 13 over fences now, but as I say, that was definitely his best performance. I just feel there's a bit more in him. I think Paul Nicholls is a trainer who will get it out of him. I want to take Shishkin on as well, and I just feel this one's probably the one. I've got a lot of respect for the favourite, but I think Nicholls might have a big one in this horse.
Pete Dory for Rich. Kieran, is there anything we should mention from the rest of the field?
Yeah, I think give a quick mention to Miller's Bank. I don't think he liked the first time cheap pieces in the King George. I don't really think he's a free miler either, and he was just outclassed in that. But the 2 starts previous to that, he was second in the Colin Parker behind Beauport at Carlisle, where he found loads of pressure from off the pace, and he was second in the Peterborough Chase as well behind Pete Dory. He's only got a couple of lengths to find. I can see that they're going to go plenty hard enough in front, and he might actually run on for third, best of the rest. So maybe if there is anyone doing betting without the first 2, I doubt it, but he'd probably be second in behind Pete Dory. But I think he could run on late and pick up the pieces for a place.
But your selection, Fakir
for me, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay, really interesting Grade 1 over at Ascot. I hope Shishkin can bounce back. He was a fantastic horse in his prime, and I don't think the wheels have totally come off yet. We shall see on Saturday. Before the Betfair Ascot Chase, over at Haydock, we've got a Grand National Trial, and unusually for Haydock in February, we've had a dry spell, and I think we're looking at good to soft ground at best at Haydock. Bristol de Mai he won this race last year in the courtroom after the Galloping Bear was thrown out after having a banned substance.
Yeah.
But we know that Bristol de Mai absolutely loves Haydock, won many a Betfair Chase there. But with the ground as it is, are we with him or against him this weekend off his current handicap mark? Well,
that's the key thing, isn't it, the ground? Because you think of Bristol de Mai, you automatically think soft ground, Haydock, get them at it from the front. But we had this discussion the other day in the office, didn't we, Scoop? He's down to 154. That is the tempter. Now, he ran in a race last year, so we'll see here. This is only 3 finished last year. He finishes second to the Galloping Bear, who was subsequently disqualified. And he was absolutely out on his feet here. This was a proper test of what he wants, because it slows the others down. Now, he is down to that mark of 154, but he is 12, and I don't think he'll be able to, like I said, slow the others down. I think the good ground might just catch him for a test of speed, and there might just be 1 or 2 with a bit more turn of foot at the trip who'll come and do him. But, you know, he's 6 from 9 here. He's been an absolute great servant, hasn't he? But it's just a case of good ground. You'd worry about that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a real conundrum with his teasing handicap mark, but I think on that ground the percentage call is to take Bristol on. Rich, will you be doing that with Fontaine Collonge, a mare trained by Venetia Williams?
No, I thought she was a little bit short as well. Another concern is the ground. Her best form is on soft. She's got a little bit of form on good to soft as well, but look, it's been a real drying week, hasn't it? And strong winds as well, which will only dry up the ground more. And I just wonder, a bit like Bristol de Mai, if the ground might just catch this one out. And at the prices, I think you're paid to look elsewhere.
Yeah, I think we're struggling here. Maybe the time form ratings will help us come to a conclusion. Fontaine Collonge and Bristol de Mai at the top, so no help whatsoever there after ruling those 2 out quickly. Grumpy Charlie in off 163. I thought Small Present had a good chance for the Sue Smith yard. I think he will like the ground, and his form at Market Race and from Christmas isn't working out too badly. And then 5th in, we've got the 2 Amigos, the Welsh Grand National winner Kieran, who wasn't entered in the race the year before, but then was thankfully this season and came away with the win. What do you think of that form when you think of Quickwave as well, who was quite a short price favourite at Chepstow but didn't show up for Venetia that day?
Yeah, I think she'll definitely overturn the form. I think the 2 Amigos got a perfect Chepstow ride in that Welsh National. I've reported from plenty of meetings there this season, and there is a massive bias towards front runners, especially when it's soft. They just get into a rhythm, those fences come thick and fast, and I think everything fell right for him that day. and he was beaten here by Saint-Sevier 2 starts back in a veterans race, and again it comes down to ground with the two amigos. You think strong galloper, heavy ground. This is a totally different test. Again, he's a veteran as well.
What about Quick Wave on the ground?
Yeah, so I was just going to say about Quick Wave, that was good to soft ground at Sandown. She was really impressive, wasn't she? And she is lightly raced of late, so potentially a bit fragile, but I just thought that Welsh National maybe came a bit quick. She did get hampered as well. Now, I'm not saying that was the reason why she pulled up, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her bounce back for definite. But whether she's good enough to win off a mark of 148, I'm not quite sure, but I think she'll definitely overturn Welsh National form.
There's a few lightly raced ones in here, Rich, including Omar Moretti. Is he on the shortlist?
Yeah, he is. He'd probably be my pick, actually. Look, I had a really good time with it last year. Won at Newcastle, won at Catterick, good run at Market Race, and then given a long break, returned to Ayr, and I thought run really well, actually, from the front. Real big front running bold performance, and then just got a little bit tired later on, but only beaten 2 lengths, given a nice break since. I think Alex Ailes is a terrific trainer anyway, and I just thought there was a little bit of room for manoeuvre in that handicap market myself. Now, again, most of his best form is with cutting the ground, but he's by fame and glory. You'd think good to soft to be absolutely fine, and I just thought at double figure odds he was probably the value.
Yeah, it was good stuff when he won at Newcastle. Just a slight worry to have a bit of his jumping. Ayres fences are really probably the easiest to jump, and he was a bit clumsy, but do you think that was just a bit of rustiness last time, maybe?
Time will tell. I thought he jumped pretty good, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I was quite taken with him when I came away from it. I had him on the shortlist ever since. So yeah, pace in the race, that'll be the thing. I think he likes to go from the front as well. So hopefully they don't cut each other's.
Any others to mention, Kieran, and sum up your selection for the race?
I'm really keen on Small Present for this. That was first time at a marathon trip last time, third in that Lincolnshire National. Yes, the winner did bomb out, but the rest of the form's stacking up nicely. He's 2 from 3 over hurdles here, including off a pound higher mark, 10 stone 2. Sue Smith's saying Chasers at Haydock, can't go wrong. I know they're not maybe having the winners that they used to have, but I think she's laid this out for this, and I think he's a cracking bet, 8 to 1.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kieran. Small present for me as well. It's Omar Moretti. It is a first. Yeah. Omar Moretti for Rich. Any other bets from anywhere across the tracks this weekend?
I do think Mr. Vango has a good chance in the Albert Bartlett trial, Prestige Novice Hurdle. He goes from the front. He went down fighting at Hereford last time. It was a good race. He got beat by one of Archie Watson's, and Brian Hughes is on. He's going to go from the front. I think he might take some catching. And
you've got a Richard Mann special for us this weekend, haven't you?
I haven't, no.
A really strong fancy, you told me.
No, just pick Dory for me.
Okay.
I do agree about Small Present though at Haydock. I think I'd probably have 2 strings to my bow in that race.
Oh, that's 3 of us then.
Yeah,
I think we've taught you around.
Be able to buy some big presents afterwards, won't we?
Yep. And what a lovely way to end the show. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Sporting Life and Timeform Racing preview. We'll be back again next week to do it all again.